Good morning and welcome back to the Chunk Locked Group Ironman. You join me back here in the Impling field as we finish off the last few items I wanted from the Impling collection log before we move on. Most of these items do not have a direct benefit to me right now, but in a little while, future chunks, I'm planning ahead. If you have any guesses on what I'm going to be working on or working toward, go ahead and put it in the comments and we'll see who can get it right. And with that Impling, we have received 5 iron bars. What we're going to use this for is to make iron pickaxes, which will increase our speed of mining by a substantial amount. The iron pickaxe takes 2 bars to smith, so I had enough for myself and 1 for Stompy as well. Small things like this make such a large difference in the long scheme of things when it comes to grinds. Last episode, I pulled the blue dragonhide chaps and the red dragonhide vambraces. And with Stompy being, first of all, the combat focused person, but also the ranger, is going to go ahead and get the defense level to wear them. With the amount of time that Stompy has spent staring at these Crassians over the duration of these grinds, I wouldn't be surprised if he never wants to step on Ashdale again after we're done with this. The only real benefit of this grind though is all the extra gems that he has gotten as drops from the Crassians. While Stompy is killing Crassians, I'm using fire magic against ice giants to kill them faster for my 62 magic requirement for curse, and an added bonus is big bones. So I'm sure not many of you would know this, but Stompy and I have been friends for around 15 years now. We met at Catherby Fishing Spot, and for all these years we've still maintained our love for the game together. I just wanted to mention how appreciative I am for him joining me in all these crazy ideas I have, mostly without too many questions. He and I have done basically everything you can imagine in this game together. Every leagues, Deadman mode, group Ironman, and even now, a competitive chunk locked group Ironman. All of this is to say thank you Stompy for joining me in all these adventures. And I can't wait to see what we get up to next. Taking a break from the magic training, I decided to finally finish off the 40 thieving. Now, I guess we can go try out pickpocketing some guards. Realistically, they're going to catch me a lot more than the men do, but with the experience per hour increase, it's going to be worth it. I'm bringing a full inventory of sardines, the best food that I could possibly have, come on. And we're going to spend a little while testing this out, and using up the aura whenever we can. We get like an hour a day, so if I knock this out, honestly the grind shouldn't be too bad. Anytime my food runs out, I'll just run over to the fishing shop, buy a full inventory of sardines, and cook them. And obviously they'll get me a couple levels along the way. And after another great AFK session here at the Ice Giants, we have achieved 55 magic, now allowing us to cast High Alchemy. If I can get a good amount of nature runes, which I really can't. Every so often while I'm skilling, I will get a Mimic kill token. This allows me to come and fight the giant Mimic, and the drops from him aren't really good per se, but they could be. See, a few of the items you can get are Scrimshaws, things like Scrimshaw of Aggression and Scrimshaw of Sacrifice. The biggest benefit is Scrimshaw of Sacrifice means you get more combat experience without gaining items from the drop. Now for us that's great because we don't really care about the drops too much right now, but the experience per hour is abysmal. So this will help speedrun to the higher levels and we can get faster kills. So I'm going to try and kill them whenever I can and loot all of the amazing drops. Alright, let's go ahead and open up these boxes we got. The main thing we want is the Scrimshaw of Sacrifice. Aggressions are fine, but Sacrifice is what we really want. And there it is. Perfect. There was only a 1 in 50 chance I got that. The good thing about using the Scrimshaw at the Ice Giants is they still give me the bones, they just don't give the trash drops I didn't need anyway. So we're working toward our prayer while still getting our combat up effectively. Alright, the Scrimshaw has run out just in time for me to get 60 magic. Just another level to go to grab everything we need to get Curse. I don't think I'll be staying here at the Ice Giants though. I do have some other stuff I need to knock out anyway, so we'll go over there later. The ultimate goal will be 76, but for now I'm just going to do little bits at a time. Hopefully towards 62, that's the next closest safe level. Again, I don't really see the need to do safes, but I'm still going to work towards them passively. Here's something I really didn't expect to happen, but I got a strength level from pushing through the wheat field. It only gives like 1 or 2 experience at a time, but when you do it hundreds of times to catch implings, it adds up. After another few hours of grinding, here's another level that ends in a 0, 60 Hunter. It doesn't give us anything up front, but now we can lay 4 traps at a time, which would help if I could lay a trap anywhere. With our new chunk, we are able to complete the entirety of the Witch's Potion mini quest. Unlike old school, this one is a mini quest, but it still gives rewards and it is still a chunk task since it can be done within our chunks. Now there is one technicality here, so I'll show you that here in just 1 second. As you can see, the rat is outside of my area, but by dropping an item, I am able to area loot it, and it gives me access to items that normally we would not be able to. I want to leave this as an exception that we can do to add some more interesting options for later chunks. With this, we just completed the quest, and now we can mark it off of the list. Since I'm already in the area, I might as well knock out all of the quest requirements for the new chunk. We'll do that all as one big task and then we'll move on. To begin, let's start the Once Upon a Slime quest. Alright, and with that, now we need to talk to Thessalia and Varrock, so we can't do that, which will complete the Once Upon a Slime step. Next, we need to complete the entirety of Songs from the Depths. Let's go ahead and knock that out. For now, the quest won't give us any major updates. All it's going to do is give us a crossbow that in the future, once we can kill QBD, can be upgraded. But for now, it's just another item and quest we have to do just because it's a requirement. If you made it this far into the video, I want to extend my deepest thanks to you. It's been a while since I've uploaded, and I have so many clips and videos put together, but taking the time to sit down and actually edit them can become difficult with my schedule. I'll have more videos that I'm currently working on, including RuneScape 3 Ironman, Group Ironman, and old school leagues, as well as my old school Group Ironman. I want to find more time to get these videos out, so if you continue to enjoy them, I hope that you can share what kind of things you'd be interested in seeing. I personally played all versions of RuneScape, and I continue to enjoy them all. So any ideas would be greatly appreciated, as well as things for my chunks, or just a different game mode entirely. Again, any and all feedback is greatly appreciated, even if it's negative. I'd love to hear it. Alright, and with that, we have now completed the Songs from the Depths quest. Go ahead and open up our sheet here. And now we can check off all of the quest requirements. Next, I need to catch some baby implings to hopefully be able to pull a seaweed pretty quickly. If I can do that, that gives us access to making the molten glass, and I want to get that out of the way as soon as possible. Well, let's go ahead and just knock that out real quick while we're here. Alright, and with that, we have pulled the seaweed from a baby impling, with a nice green salamander to boot. Cannot complain. And with this, I have now completed the make a molten glass task. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. Just 3 more things to do. One of them requires me to get mahogany logs. That's not fun. Let's do it. I spent the next hour killing grot worms by standing in a safe spot, standing 1 tile outside of their attack range, using magic. I still need to get the 61 magic requirement for curse. I'm going to use a +5 boost. So this is actually a pretty good way to do it. With today's update, they added mahogany wood spirits to the grotworm drop table. This isn't useful for us, but I just thought it was interesting. They're planning for the 110 woodcutting and fletching update, which for our chunks we got really lucky being forced to get our woodcutting and fletching up, but They were talking about rebalancing the skill levels for some of the stuff. Like, what does it mean for our chunks? In this case, they removed the logs from the drop table, which really sucks for us. You know, you never really know going into these things what an update could do for your chunk. Both benefits and detriments. Alright, and with that, we are now officially 50 hit points. That is a massive upgrade. We still need to get our defenses a little higher, but I'm waiting until I get the 61 magic before I start training that way. I will be starting to split it up, because I do need to get at least to 30 defense or so. At least so I can start wearing the Batwing. Alright, and with that, we have now completed the 61 magic requirement. Now, I can get a magic potion created at 5 Herblore, which will allow me to boost to get to 66 to cast vulnerability. This will actually become very useful in the near future. When we get our first boss, being able to increase its damage taken by 10% will be massive. After completing the 61 magic requirement, I had to wait for Stompy to log in, as he's going to be making my potion for me. He'll also need to finish off getting 57 cooking to boost using a Chef's Delight that I got from Implings to make the curry, which will finish off the last of our chunk tasks. I figure until he gets on, I'll just go ahead and grab a couple of mining levels, in the off chance that we roll the Falador smithing chunk in the future. If we can get access to Luminite, we would definitely have a huge advantage that we would be able to make adamant, armor, weapons, and other things like that, but unfortunately I think the closest way we can get that would be in the Falador chunk, so unless we go through the woodcutting chunk, or find another way into it, I don't think that's going to be realistic. Stompy got home and immediately set out to finish off the 57 cooking requirement. We only have sardines, so it does take a little longer, but he's a trooper and he knocked it out pretty quickly. In the background during almost all the videos, you can expect that Stompy and I will be collecting our rewards from Meg on a weekly basis. This will let us get experience in skills we otherwise wouldn't be able to early. Have you been making an attack potion, but you've recently run out of Eyes of Newt? How about you're trying to blast goblins, but you've forgotten your wizard hat? You're just a few chaos runes off of buying that onyx you need for your fury? Well, come join us at Betty's Magic Emporium, where our deals are enchanting. Stompy made sure to use the offer code Broomstick for 20% off of his order and managed to get 5 Herblore to make our potion. Now we just need to grab the last items and make it for us. Stompy then joined the list of 5 people who've ever made a magic potion in this entire game, to which I used it to abuse the already vulnerable wildlife of Port Sarim just a little more. Stompy went ahead and finished off the task to smith a gold bar that we mined earlier. He then followed this up by continuing his grind to finish off the majority of the cooking grind, which takes a while with sardines. Alright, and since I got this log before the change, I am going to light it to complete the task. The other ones are still on backlog. And after a week of cooking sardines over and over, somehow he has magically learned how to cook a curry. Runescape logic.
It is checked off.
Beautiful. 23 out of 23. Alright, here we go. Oh! Ooh! Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you're excited to see where we get to go to next. I'll tell you one thing. We aren't going to chicken out.